What is all of this talk about going inside? I hear people talk about going inside, but what does go inside really mean? Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrates, the vibrate, the rate at which we're vibing. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. They always talking about go inside myself. What is going inside? I mean, like what I'm supposed to like crawl inside of myself, or what is it that we talking about? Blessings, y'all. Michael Delane, Peace, Jamim, Botch, Waterloo, blessings. Just Nina, really thank you. Appreciate y'all support and love, harmony, blessings, y'all. I'm gonna let a few people roll in, trill with love, blessings. We're talking about going within. This video gonna be, I'm a little, just kind of bouncing around a little bit, going with the flow. I do want to touch on a few things. In fact, remembering, you know what I'm saying, most importantly, to not get caught up in being focused on the physical world outside ourselves, but more focused on the internal world. And again, that's why I was like, people talk about going inside. What all this is going inside about? There's multiple things, about going inside, everything outside of us is a manifestation of what's going on inside of us. In order to really change what's going on outside of us, we got to change our thoughts, the way we think, stuff like this. So when we talk about inner work, in essence, because you hear the word inner and you think like your mind instantly goes to, all right, so I got to like envision going inside myself and doing some work, I'm pretty sure it's kind of somewhat of the mind frame, the lean, all right, bless. Bayou Yama, blessings. But you hear it, and also after hearing it so much, it has like a little cliche connotation, like go inside. When all of this going on, just go inside. And a lot of people may not thoroughly talk about going inside, which I indirectly always speak to it. It's all the inner work is noticing your thought patterns, like observing the ego, like something as simple as that is in essence going inside. You know what I'm saying? Like just doing the work on yourself, realizing what inner energies is causing the outer energies. Because again, if it's a person annoying people that's always coming towards you, or it's people who think they know it all always coming at you, and and you dislike these vibes. So say for instance, the old way of thinking, the way to do things is like to, hey, tell that person something, or or just constantly be in conflict with these people that's coming towards you. You know what I'm saying? That's the the outer way, like trying to fix it. But the real way to handle it is realizing, hey, these people are coming towards you because there's some energy within yourself, in your subconscious, that that you're disliking or disagreeing with, and the universe is sending it to you so you could accept it. You know what I'm saying? But because you're unconscious, you don't see it, like you seeing it as something that's combating you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole illusion of what's going on right now is one side feeling like it got to go against the other, and that's when it's coming down to the real, like where the true spirit, like the true spiritual essence or knowledge of what's going on is us, like we're waking up to the fact of that we should balance things out, and that it's not masculine against feminine, or yin against yang, or the dark energy against light energy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's basically causing an internal fight. DMT, nothing is wrong with DMT. You carry it within yourself. So in essence, we all are walking with illegal substance in our possession. well, most of us. Some people pineal calcified, so in essence, their pineal not producing DMT, or at least on a high enough level for them to tap into the energies. But yeah, we all walking around with it in us internally, and there's nothing wrong with DMT. Of course, you would want to be aware of your sources of it. Research and research about the source you're getting it from, or whatever the case may be. But it's definitely nothing wrong. Everything is it's in a balance. You know, smoking or even better, drinking water helps me become healthy. Water is one of the healthiest things on this planet that you could really think of. But if I drank too much water, I could kill myself. That's a fact. So everything has its little polarity. You want to deal with DMT, but and you could deal with it outside of yourself. But the moment you become like addicted to it, which honestly there aren't really any cases I know of where somebody's addicted to DMT. Like almost everybody, and I say almost everybody that I've encountered, don't sit around like smoking DMT all day, every day, or every other day. Like it's not even that type of vibe. It's so much of a strong connection that your higher self, it's much. You may have the most addictive nature in the world, but after DMT trip, your higher self is on some, like you connected to it. You like, nah, I'm gonna let it come back around. Like you're not gonna feel the vibe. Like you're gonna feel how you're gonna be throwing off your soul and your spiritual growth by trying to go back into smoking it right again, or however, taking it orally or smoking it, you know. But yeah, it's as safe as you feel it is. God is everything. You are God. Fearing something is fearing yourself. you know we got the right amount of cautiousness. Like our ego exists for us to hold our soul in a concentrated point. You know what I'm saying? Because if we wasn't in our bodies, we would all be mixed together. Like we wouldn't have no individual consciousness. We would just be one mixed ball of big ass consciousness and not able to. That's why I tell people too, like, it's all on perception. Some people want to be back in the big ball of consciousness with no individual, or unique soul spark to the experience. Some of us want to uniquely, express our soul spark away from, and when I say away from the whole, not away from the whole as in, unconnected from the whole, but just, on its own individual uniqueness, but still being a part of the whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole vibe. So when we go to thinking like the ego bad or this and that, that's why I always kept cleaning up the way I speak on the ego and speaking to, like directly of what aspect of the ego I'm talking about. Is the thinking, is the mind and the separatist part of the ego, like the part, the ego that, well, in essence, ego is mind because it's everything that you were taught, in essence, so it's your thoughts. But it's that aspect. Again, the ego is needed enough for us to, protect ourselves on, like, say for instance, to know not to put my hand on the stove, or to know not to protect myself, having enough for individualism to know not to lay down in the street and let a car roll over me. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you could be on that, oh, I'm interconnected with everything. I'm so interconnected, I just lay down in front of a car and then reincarnate or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, your purpose, in essence. Of course, if you did it, it is what it is. But, your purpose, in essence, is not, you're not in a physical body. You didn't come down here to be in it just to hurry up and, if that's the case, then we all could just shoot ourselves in the head nine. No transition, if that was the case. No, that's blunt, but that's what it is. Yeah. Much love, y'all. King Yada, blessings. Jameen, do you work with pantheons? Uh, be more particular, like pantheon. You talking about like different little religions or something like that? I'm familiar with that word, but I won't sit here and act like I'm that familiar. Yep, transcending polarity to unity, you know. And it's a balance. Like a lot of people think we're going into this unity vibe, where we going back to being all the same again. Like we're all just gonna be one big blob of source that's just not gonna have any, individual aspects, and that's a lie. As farthest from the truth. What's happening right there is you're being extremely in your higher chakras, or extremely in your feminine side. So all you seeing is just that, the non-physical aspect of the awakening. So you're on one side, and two, though, when you get on one side of the awakening, then you start to see the other side as something you have to battle against, which the other side is yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it's the dual nature, realizing the dual nature within yourself, and realizing that the duality is not something for you to fight against, but something for you to embrace and embody, because the both dual natures or polarities exist in everything and everybody. But yeah. DMT, I forgot the regular name for it. Something tryptamine, dimethyltryptamine, if I ain't mistaken. Your pineal gland produces it. Should definitely go, cause I don't want to get into it, but just go take your little Google. But it's produced for near-death experiences, when we do transition, or death transition. Again, near-death experiences and lucid dreaming, and also in essence, because I feel like when you do quote unquote take DMT, to a certain extent, I feel like it's just kind of making you activate the DMT that's already within you, and it's not so much of you reacting to the DMT that you actually took in. What are your go-to visualizations for placing consciousness inside yourself and stand there, zoning in? Like sometimes I like to visualize sitting inside of my heart. Like, so as I'm sitting there, and see, with your eyes closed, you can envision all these things, especially when you really get to that 0 point, you start moving into your breath. And the more you start tapping into that, to the breath, and more internal, the less the outside exists. Where it be sometimes I tap into a meditation so much, I'll forget where I'm at, And like I laugh at it, almost be like a little fun game trying to remember like where I'm meditating at. You know what I'm saying? Because I done got so much into that 0 point, and then, got into so many different visualizations, I forget that I was, sometimes I forget that I'm in California. Like I envision that I'm in California. I mean, in Louisiana, meditating. But yeah, my go-to one, like for really getting internal, is envisioning being inside of my heart. Like that's my main go-to visualization as far as like going internal, going inside. That's one of the key things. And also like that visualizations, subconscious it goes off of symbols. So instead of trying to say for instance, instead of using affirmations like I am abundance, I am prosperity, like of course that's good, but you could also use visualizations. The subconscious works with pictures and symbols. So you could set up a little visualization setup where, say for instance, envision, trying to think of a good one. Envision like a dead carcass, you know what I'm saying, laying down or something. Like I'm trying to think of one, because I think I spoke to this in like it's like a vulture meditation. But basically you envisioning a certain situation going on. So say for instance, you envision your old habits as the carcass laying down, and and the eagle, or the vulture is that part of you that transmute energy, and you seeing the vulture eating that dead body, or that old energy or old habits to yourself, and transmuting as the vulture eats it. You envision the vulture start to shine after you eat it, as if he's transmuting that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like that's ways that you could work with energy within yourself and transmute energy. So it's not about just like saying the affirmation all the time, because again, the subconscious works with symbols. Your subconscious existed, forget even on a soulful level, as a little when we are transitioned into this earthly plane. You know, before your parents, before you could even comprehend English words, you already kind of have a train of consciousness. You know, your consciousness is already moving, and it's not moving to the English language. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that that's just the outright common sense facts that's in our face. You know, you see it. Like, you don't have to research to see that. In essence. Well, yeah. DMT is in all living beings, basically, for sure. And most of all of us, most human bodies. You know what I'm saying? But yes, it's in mostly everything in this plane. Different plants. You got 5-MeO in the frogs. You know, you can do the frog meditation. But yeah, it's in everything. It's and two, just to show you how insane this country is as far as like what they make illegal. Like basically, in essence, that's almost like saying it's illegal to be your God self. Like it's illegal to really tap into your spirituality. Indirectly, that's what they're saying. Because of course they got it illegal as like as far as like as a substance outside of you. Like they don't want you dealing with it, you know. But it's like, man, it's craziness. Oh, I said it right. Dimethyltryptamine. All right, y'all. Matter of fact, I'm about to get back into some of my stuff I was just talking about. Hey, and oh, all right, that's a Omen's night cat. I will get into the full moon a little bit. Yep. So I'm gonna get back to some of those questions, but again, because I wanted to share this point. You know, we're focusing, going within, and also like actions like us being in this physical world comes second to us, you know, doing the internal work, us tapping into that inner source, you know, because that's just like the aspect of how this world was created. You know what I'm saying? First the consciousness or the thought existed, you know what I'm saying? Then came all the physical things, you know what I'm saying? That's the same, as above so below. As an extension of God, we should create in that same manner of how, you know, the creation came about, in essence, in this, from the non-physical to the physical aspects. But basically, you know, and I was like, you know, we blowing smoke up our butts if we think that, you know, it's all about changing outside. Like, we got this vibe, we've been taught, like, you know, feed the homeless, change the world, this and that. Because matter of fact, I'm about to speak on that. That's why me personally, like, I'm not too, like, matter of fact, if anybody watching who asks me to, you know, some people ask me to support situations with them feeding the homeless and stuff like that. And I have nothing against feeding the homeless. Every now and then, you know, I can give somebody some money or whatever. But I do see the realness of the situation of how it's just an enabling situation. You give somebody some food, bam, they hungry the next moment, and they still got the same mind frame that's gonna keep them looking for a handout. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in essence, you know, of course, it's just more of a human moralistic way of being spiritual, like, and that's what we trying to get to, the real deal spirituality. We trying to pull away from that, you know, that human aspect, or what somebody thinks spirituality should be, from a human moralistical aspect, and more so on a godly balancing the full nature of our being essence. You know what I'm saying? Not just uh no one-sided view. Because matter of fact, no matter how many plates of food you hand to a homeless people, they will still have the same consciousness. that will keep them in the street. You know what I'm saying? And instead of doing, real work, instead of doing your inner work and your real work, you constantly, not maybe not stressing, but you constantly like, again, finding ways to just sit and just go hand somebody some food, hand somebody some food. And again, God is everything. We are in the physical nature, and of course, it feels good to nourish this bodysuit. You know what I'm saying? I'd be lying if I didn't say it feels good to nourish the bodysuit. But again, it comes a place where we gotta really, really, try to help somebody grow instead of the just cliche moralistic. Well, I feel good. I did something good. I gave you something to eat, so now I could sleep good at night because I just, gave you something that, in essence, keeps you furtherly locked in this matrix. You know, like feeding somebody, in essence, that's keeping a motherfucker in there. When you really, if you wanna, like, let's talk some shit. Let's talk some real right quick. Let's talk some real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we should be sitting down, like, running game, and that's where, if where the spiritual part, like the difficulty, in setting up things to help others, like all the spiritual growth in general, because yeah, it's not about just sitting around and handing somebody a hamburger or some food and calling it spiritual, or hey, I looked out for that person. I mean, yeah, but we move into a place where we eating less. You know what I'm saying? They should be out there practicing not eating. You know what I'm saying? On another level, to be, again, this is honest. There's no good or bad, right or wrong. If you feeling like what I'm saying is wrong, you're just looking at it from a human moralistic level. You know what I'm saying? And not from the real essence of the situation. But again, much love again, bro. Because that's the flip side to it. It do feel good to share something, or like, say for instance, when you see that person, you can feel them being joyous about, like, whatever it is you're sharing with them. Those moments are very, it feels good to have those moments. But again, the real work is changing consciousness. It's not about just handing out, like, like me just handing out crystals. Like, I don't tell people about crystals, none of that. I'm like, oh, free crystals. And again, when I'm saying this is not to discourage anybody from giving out free crystals or free food or anything, because we all start on the level that we're at. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking to the reality of the situation, where eventually everybody's going to realize that, it's going to be one of the moments where you look back like, yeah, we should have been more teaching than actually, like, just giving away food. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, nothing is wrong or right about it, but it's just the essence of what the reality of what's really helping, and what's really not, in essence. Yeah, that's just one of the things, again, is about level of consciousness, being the change that we want to see. We are like walking Wi-Fi. Like, if you ever notice, when you have your vibration to a high balanced place and you around certain people, you don't even really have to say much. Like, your vibration, works on the people around you. You know what I'm saying? Where people kind of like got this, like, vibe of, like, like, say for instance, for example, when I was, like, in my super high vibe, I wasn't completely disconnected from my human self, but just in my high vibe. But long story short, I would go to, different people's houses, go visit, sit down, we'll run it. But, every time I come through, it'll be the vibe where people got the incense burning, the music not gonna be nothing derogatory or, of no lower vibration. Like, the setting was, but then, like, every now and then I would, say for instance, I'd pop up to people's crib by surprise. I'm that person where I like to surprise people, in essence, with company or with my presence. So I would pop up on people, and man, I walk in and sound like a war zone, people fussing like, this and that, and then and they open the door and see, oh, what's up, and then you could feel everybody, like, starting to, like, try to, all right, let's bring it down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, got a calming energy, you know, and plus we don't want to disrupt the brethren energy, you know. So without words being said, your energy, you know, works on people. You know, that's that illusion, you know. Again, the ego tried the mind part of the ego, that separatist mind part of the ego, just trying to find some way, you know, to survive, or as far as like feeling like you gotta talk somebody into change, you know, or overly be hands on, when it's really just about maintaining your own vibration. You know, it's not about trying to go. You got problem. If you got a problem with purple shirts, your job is not to go around telling people to take off their purple shirt, or going around trying to take the purple shirt off of people. Your job is to go within yourself, you know, and see, like, in your subconscious, what triggered you to not like purple shirts. When we talk about going inside, like, all right, if you dislike something, go inside yourself, see where that vibration first arose from. You know what I'm saying? Like, what was the catalyst or the root to you not liking purple shirts? And when you find that energy, you know, you transmute it, you love it, or whatever the situation, you know, whether it's because you're traumatized by purple, whatever the case may be, you know, you confront that energy, shine a light on it, and then, you know, you'll no longer have a problem with purple shirts. But it's not about you trying to go tell somebody to take off their purple shirts. Oh, it's just not. Yep. Yep, to change the world, we gotta change ourselves. Yep, feed a man, he will eat, and teach a man how to fish, he could survive, you know. We should be out here teaching people how to, you know, how to catch the fish, you know, and not just throwing them the fish. Like, that's the whole, you know, in essence, the reason why people be, you know, on a level of not really helping themselves, because there's so many things enabling them, you know. Just think about yourself. Like, if Source just enabled you throughout your whole growth, you know, you would probably still be in front of TV eating cake and ice cream. Say, for instance, if Source, you know, catered to, you know, your ego wants, like your physical nature, and, you know, like on that level, like, you still be you wouldn't be spiritually growing. You know, you would just be eating Oreos, watching Netflix. Because Source was being an enabler. Source was just giving you, regardless if it wasn't helping you spiritually grow, it's like, oh, we're here. Which Source is like that. Source is so beautiful. You know, or you are so beautiful, and I'm so beautiful, that, you know, we have so much free will. We could choose bondage. We could choose to lock ourselves up if we wanted to. That's how free we are. We could choose ignorance or choose knowledge. Do you find certain foods or meals spark you going within or not? Uh, whenever I'm eating less and drinking a lot of water. Drinking a lot of water is like one of the most slept on key aspects of your growth. Drinking a lot of water, in essence, allow for you to to eat things that ain't too healthy for you, you know what I'm saying? And still kind of stay along the lines of your spiritual growth. But for me, it's that combination. It's drinking a lot of water, it's meditation, it's actually like where I sit down and visualize chi energy flowing to areas of my body, and healing it and fixing it. You know, matter of fact, I haven't dropped it yet, but after I do this live video, I got like almost an hour, almost 2 hour long video where I speak on like smiling meditation for the organs. I speak on you know, the sound vibrations and solfeggio tones, you know, that whole vibe. But yeah, for the food, I would say like blueberry, like things that open up my pineal too, like So other than just barely eating or drinking a lot of water, if I do choose to eat something to tap in on that level, it would be like fruits, like probably blueberries. Like blueberries is the first thing that come to mind when I think about that vibe. You know, pine nuts is good. Pine nuts produce pineolic acid, uh, which is only found in pine nuts, and that's like very good for decalcifying the pineal gland. Now I may add that pine nuts is not on Dr. Sebi's list, but you know, we all different on how strong we are on that situation. And matter of fact, that's another thing too. Like we gotta speak on Dr. Sebi more as far as like that diet and stuff like that. Like the fact that there's still advertisement for going get an AIDS tested or getting flu shots and stuff like that. Like man, we gotta be working in the now. You know, we gotta have this thing eliminated. And another thing too, when I'm talking about working on these things, it's through being in alignment with your heart and with source. You know what I'm saying? It's not feeling like, oh, I gotta go out and help. You know, like for me personally, like I love to learn about knowledge and I love to help others. Like I love, you know, sharing with others and helping others. That's something that I love. You know, it's not nothing that I feel like, you know, well, you know, since it's a spiritual awakening, let me go help these people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that type of vibe, you know. Again, it's about being genuine about this. So don't really, you know, it's not about going out your way. But let me get back into a little bit of the information. Matter of fact, with this full moon coming up, full moon in Pisces, Pisces energy, you know, imaginative, intuitive, artistic. You know, that's gonna be some of the vibes coming with it. Matter of fact, more so strongly, it's just gonna be like that dreamy vibe, dreamy vibe without boundaries. So like expanding on our dreams on a high level. You're gonna feel like a floaty, going with the flow, intuitive type of vibe. For people who are water signs, you're gonna be real, you know, intuitive. Matter of fact, you might wanna, if you're a water sign, you might wanna work with like grounding crystals. So you know, have your little tourmaline and hematite nearby, but at the same time balancing, because it's gonna be a balance of you know, working with those dreamy, feminine, you know, non-physical energies that go on with the flow, intuitive energies. But it's also gonna have like a grounding energy because they have a earth trine energy. So it's gonna create like a earthy aspect. So to ground, you know, the things we're dealing with, and it's gonna have a certain type of organization too, what we're dealing with, you know, because it's gonna be a Virgo energy. That earthly energy is gonna be the one that plays out more strongly, and deals more with you know, nurturing or taking care of others and organization, you know. So it's like organizing your, you know, the physical things you're taking care of, you know, and which this full moon may feel like, you know, it'll have somewhat of a little bit of a conflicting vibe, because again, it's gonna be asking you to be, you know, real in that watery vibe. Like you're gonna feel the intuitive and psychic energies are gonna be real heightened, you know. So matter of fact, you're gonna feel very sensitive to energies in this time, you know. Matter of fact, and also this is a good time to practice trusting your intuition, you know, because with your intuition growing, you know, it's time to you know, put that phone down. Don't use the GPS today. You know, ask yourself, you know, like really ask yourself, all right, should I go left or right? And then see what voice answers first and follow it. Be all right with just following, you know, going with the flow of whatever answer comes to you first or whatever, you know, because it's a trial and error. Even if the wrong, quote unquote, wrong voice source is always with you. So even if you follow, say for instance, the voice that wasn't necessarily intuition, you'll still be guided back into alignment with your, you know, with your inner source, you know, in some way, form, or fashion, and you get to learn from that experience. Like, all right, when I went that way, you know, it wasn't really that strong voice that I'm used to, and it was wrong. So you get to see, like, all right, that wasn't my intuition that I followed when I did that, you know. So definitely tuning in and tapping into the intuition, using these phones less for things that you could use your intuition for. Like quit running to look at the phone, you know, for every and any little thing. Like, say for instance, you'll catch the intuitive feeling that you got some money that came in. Like, oh, I got a certain payment to my PayPal account. Instead of being all like on some, because that's another sneaky way the ego works, is it tries to get you to deny your intuition so you could become, less tapped in. So like, say for instance, you catch the vibe that you got some money in, but like on that ego material, not say material, but just worry about the physical vibe, your lower nature have you on some stuff to want to check your bank account to just make sure. Like, it's like, no, don't follow up. That's basically like denying your intuition. Like, go with what you felt. If you felt your intuition say the money was in there, operate as if the money was in there. And then as you operate, if you see the money wasn't in there, then you could say, all right, that little vibe I caught about the money wasn't really, my true intuition. So you get to read the situation regardless. It's a win-win situation in almost all aspects of life if you know how to walk through it open-minded and see everything as a lesson. But if you see things, because say for instance, again, with identity, we got this identity that spirituality is supposed to be perfect. So when we're not doing it perfect, you're mad at yourself for, or you shamed because you didn't do things a certain way. And it's not about none of that. Just grow. Don't be shamed. There's no wrong way. You know what I'm saying? There's no identity to it. It's just do it the best you can, and you're doing great. You enlighten just by realizing, your being. Just by being, in essence. Like, it's nothing to look for in enlightenment. It's already in you. Now, also with this with the full moon energy, working with malachite and moldavite is that will be two crystals that'll be great to work with, because they're great for taking risks and basically doing the things, doing those new different things that expand the comfort zone. So basically moldavite and malachite expand that comfort zone into those places that you really want to expand into. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's our ego, that egoic mind that wants to hold on to certain identities, because if you're growing, then that egoic mind is able to hold on to the old 40 drinking Carl Ray, the old pill popping Carl Ray. It no longer exists. That's why anything that try to hinders our spiritual growth is in essence our old self being scared to grow. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole vibe. But malachite and moldavite to knock that out right quick. Malachite and moldavite is definitely, malachite more so with the risk taking, and moldavite just creates that strong transformational change. Like, moldavite is what kind of sparked me in essence of starting my YouTube channel and being so strong about, starting my business, in essence. Was dealing with moldavite, and both of them deal with the heart chakra, because it's about following our heart and manifesting the things that our heart soul desires. So malachite, moldavite, definitely great for just providing that risk-taking vibration, and also synchronicity for you lining up with the people, places, and things that you should line up with in order to manifest the things that you want to align with your soul purpose, in essence. So malachite and moldavite, definitely two crystals to work with right now, because right now is the time to not take no risk. Right now, imagine your spiritual growth. Matter of fact, so we talking about visualizations. Imagine your spiritual growth. It's like, imagine you jumping out of an airplane. Like, your spiritual growth is the unknown, or the spiritual growth is like outside the airplane. It's like the big, all the sky that is, you know what I'm saying? And that airplane is that comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? That airplane is the old you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta envision jumping out of that old you, that old airplane, and into the unknown, into, skydiving dive, that's a meditation right there to go, to grow into your more into your soul. Or and it's as simple as, visualizing, telling setting it up in your mind, like, all right, the airplane is like my old self, and you envision, and visualizing really breaking free and away from that energy. I had an exercise the other day that I did. Like, I wrote down my fears on a sheet of paper, and balled the sheet of paper up and lit it on fire and let it burn, burning those old habits away, like anything in that form or fashion to help us just get rid of those old energies. Because, as much as anytime you're giving yourself an excuse about your growth, it's coming from your ego. Point blank period. Like, the inner source in you will never sound like uneasy or sound like it has excuses about something. So whenever you feeling like you have excuses about anything on your spiritual growth or anything of that nature, it's coming from your ego. It's coming from the mind, the egoic mind that's trying to keep you from your spiritual growth. So that's why it's like, all like uneasy or, well, I don't know about, like, nah, source is not on no, I don't know about that or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not uneasy. Like that, the higher self, inner source, it's in alignment. It's not fearful of anything, you know what I'm saying? It's not to say that, ain't nothing wrong with fear of raising to a certain extent, but not letting it occupy, you know what I'm saying? Some things may pop up that may startle us, spook us, or scare us to a certain extent. But of course, you quickly move outside of that fearful place. False evidence appearing real, you be all in your mind, you know what I'm saying? Think about every fear you ever had. It was a thought. It never was something that stood true already, you know? Like, because even if, say for instance, you feared going in this yard because the dog might bite. At the end of the day, even though the dog might be barking ferociously and this and that, and of course that would be a sign that, hey, this dog probably don't want to be nice. But at the same time, it's a thought that's keeping you out. So as much as the dog barking this and that, and you could say the energy, is like standoffish, but you never know. Like, that's your thought. Like, you never know what's gonna happen with you and that dog until you go into the fence. you know. And I done had that happen before, man. I done had partners with dogs where on a human aspect. Well, I used to tell people that I'm like, on a human level, I would be scared of this dog, but like, I'm tapped into my God self, so I know that. It's just some cases where source ain't, your inner source, higher self is just not gonna allow it to happen, and when you're in tune, like, I know source not gonna allow for no dog to just straight up attack me, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, as long as I hold my vibration in a non-fearful place, this dog not gonna, worry about me. And again, that's the fear, false evidence appearing real. You plan out a situation way before it even happened. And that also comes from not being in the moment. If you was indulged in doing and being in the moment of taking care of your tasks or doing what you love, when you're doing what you love, you're not up here. It's when you're taking care of something that you don't want to. And you're doing that because you feel like, oh, to be an entrepreneur, to be in the business, I gotta do stuff that I don't like. No, you gotta do what you love, you know what I'm saying? And if something may be difficult, in essence, dealing with your entrepreneurship, then you wait for the right time. You wait till you feel like doing it to take care of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't push yourself outside of your happiness, ever. Like, that's another thing that is a struggle for a lot of us. We feel like like, at some points you have to comply to being unhappy. No, like, this life is about being blissful. So you should be always putting yourself in a situation that makes you happy and makes you feel good. You should never, volunteer to be in a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you find yourself around somebody that may be your energy vamp, or situations that's throwing your energy off, that's your choice, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's you putting yourself into that position, you know what I'm saying? And not like something you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to deal with an environment where you feel like, man, these people might be talking about me behind my back. Well, if that's what you feel, then don't deal with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to deal with them. You know, it's about being true. You know, being in alignment with your higher self and being true to yourself, authentic to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And it's about doing what you love and being blissful in every moment. You know what I'm saying? You never have to be around somebody, because that's what the people pleasing throw y'all. Like, to be nice, well, I'm gonna stay around these people, even though they talking a hole in my ear and energy vamping me indirectly. You know, to be nice, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna just stick around and continue to let my energy be vamped to be nice. It's like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where, you know, gotta stand up. But that's the whole vibe. With the full moon energy, you know, a lot of, matter of fact, of course, dealing with our emotions strongly, and especially, you know, with the moon energy in general, and Pisces, water, you know, water kind of has a feminine vibe, the curves, you know, like, so we definitely gonna be a lot more right brain oriented in these next few weeks. Matter of fact, you'll find yourself wanting to get into art, probably, you know, draw a little bit or do some poetry or some music. You know, right now is a great time. Matter of fact, I spoke on that in the video that I did on the full moon in general, where I was like, you know, some great art will be created, you know, within this full moon cycle. I feel like somebody gonna create a hit song or something, you know, like this is the time, like the energy, the inspiration, you know, on the artistic vibes are really gonna be flowing through. So, you know, tap into that creative energy. You know, you gotta, for those of you who deal with the energies within that as personified as deities, you know, then Oshun, you know, that solar plexus energy, be some good energy to work with. You know what I'm saying? Because not only, you know, confidence and creativity, but also Oshun deals with the waters. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, abundance to flow and trickle down like water. You know, that whole vibe, because that's another thing that's coming with that. You know, water in essence is a vibration of abundance and flow. You know, because you think about water, you think about something that's constantly flowing, just like how you want your currency to be. You want your currency to be constantly flowing, you know, in and out perfectly too. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, a current is like an energy. It needs to stay current. It gets stale, like when you try to hold on to money and stuff like that. You know, that current or currency gets stale. You know what I'm saying? So a fresh current doesn't flow to you because you're holding on to a current yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's that vibe as well. Definitely a lot of watery energy, a lot of intuitive feminine energy. Definitely. You can work with yin and yang, all on what resonate with you. That's why I just spoke to Oshun. I'm speaking from my experience. And I'm like, just right off the head, I'm not familiar with every single deity in the what you call them, the pantheon. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, oh, the celestial phoenix, the fear of choosing the wrong path and going back and forth about it. Realize that source always been you. Even when you try your best, sometimes you make wrong decisions. So that right there should let you know, like, you know, it's all right to just kind of go with the flow and let it happen. You know, you learn from the mistake. If something happened, cool. You know, you learn from it. And I know it sounds on it easier said than done, but I mean, it's really easy. Well, no, let's put it like this: it's easier to do. It's always easier to say so. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely just go with the flow of it. And matter of fact, again, that's where keeping a journal comes in handy, because you could go back and go to all those moments when you followed, you know, this this thought pattern or this feeling, you know, or this impulse, you know what I'm saying? You could go back like, hey, it turned out that I ended up getting $100, this and that when I did that. Tired, this and that, or it turned, you know, like you get to see like whether the outcome was beneficial or unbeneficial for you, you know. I'm not too particular into like knowing like, oh hey, Virgo, this is what you're gonna be going through. Like I mean, I do have like a commonsensical vibe dealing with astrology, you know, and a little above average knowledge, but at the same time it just kind of stepping outside of my, you know, my vibe as far as my knowledge. But I mean, just off of the strength, let me see. All right, yeah, I could do this. Cause to intuition, like, so as I looked at the question, Virgo energy, be careful of being too. Don't let your over organization vibe like block the going with the flow vibes. Like, don't let your earthly vibe of controlling and organizing a situation, you know, go off these feminine, creative, go with the flow energies that's coming down. So that's what I would say for Virgo. Scorpio, nothing really came to me. That's another thing too. I'm like, is in essence asking higher self. Like when I say it, my higher self know what I'm doing, so it'll throw me down like the information. But you know, yes, Arthur Foster, synchronicity is the way the universe. Basically, synchronicity is your higher self slash inner source or the universe let you know, like, hey, I'm always listening. You know, I'm always here, always paying attention to your thoughts. Never not paying attention to your thoughts. Cause that's why people like tell people they don't realize, like, that's why I took my spiritual growth so, you know, like I'm just getting to a place where interacting with people a little more, stuff like that. Cause man, I secluded myself on a high level, like trying to work on my subconscious, because I saw how much that everything I think about manifests into the physical. So I'm like, shit, I don't want to be, I want the things that I really want, you know, in life to manifest. So, you know, it's like, to hell with paying attention to, you know, sitting it down, like, you know, how we are on a social level, sitting down and letting somebody, you know, like where conversations where you just kind of just always listening to other people, or, you know, where you basically where your conscious being tuned into something other than your own inner visualizations and thoughts, you know. That's the whole vibe. Yeah, that's basically it. About to look at a few questions and see what y'all talking about, but that's basically it. Again, a reminder that this, like, our spiritual growth and this spiritual warfare inside of you. You know, the people, the oppressors, like, they know all of the information about, you know, let put it like this. I told this to my brethren last night, and this the deepness of it. You know, the government then trick you into being on some, oh well, you know, I should vote for Bernie Sanders, or, you know, we need to think of a way to get this political system, you know, because the Democrats in it, you know, here it is that they got y'all talking like the shit that they present to y'all on TV, while behind closed doors they doing the fucking magic, the fucking indigenous people magic that the churches and stuff scaring you away from, which they all in cahoots. So they like, here as the government, you know, we gonna give them this bullshit, and then over here as the church, y'all scare them away from the realness while we work with the real shit. You know what I'm saying? So while they working with, you know, the aspect of all is mine. You know, like that's what they attacking. They not attacking you on no physical level, like, oh, we building a wall, this and that. Nah, bro, they fucking just dealing with subconscious programming. Oh, the subconscious programming, man. Anyway, I digress. Somebody, yeah, you saw that. Somebody just threw some water on me out the window. From that. Sagittarius, watch out for being too dreamy and too delirious in that adventurous vibe, you know, because that aspect of myself, like with the 13 sign astrology, keeping that little Sagittarius vibe grounded, you know, because that watery Neptune energy mixed with that adventurous vibe of a Sagittarius to have you kind of, you know, airy in essence. Yeah, so y'all talking about the Orishas. Is whatever Orisha, you know, whatever energy resonates with you. And this is all internal energies, is energies that are strong within yourself, you know. So me dealing with Papa Legba just mean that pineal gland energy, that door open is very strong within me, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I deal with that energy or body. Yeah, basically coming to an end. I think of it as a cleanse. Yeah, definitely. I think of it as it's time for me to finish this video. It be little signs like that. It's like, again, like, well, you don't catch it yourself, so the universe like, all right, I gotta throw some water on this food. Matter of fact, or I guess it was a little showing how much synchronicity, like I'm talking about the full moon in Pisces, there's a lot of water energy, and then here comes somebody in the window and throw some water out the window. A lot of water energy, I said it, I spoke it, and it came into existence. Showing that again, like, hey, thoughts and words manifest into the physical. But yeah, about to wrap it up, y'all. Again, it's about going within, not feeling like, oh, I gotta vote for so and so, I gotta, like, nah, just do the inner work, visualize the world, you know, the different world you want to see, be the change that you want to see. That's where the inner work is at. It's just by knowing that it's you being the change. You know, it's changing your internal, changing the way you think. That's what going inside is, you know, because inside, you know, your thought process, your feelings, emotions, like all that is what projects outside of you. So it's about cleaning up those aspects, you know. If a certain trauma happened to you as a little kid, you know, it's shining a light on that, and showing that little kid within some love, you know what I'm saying? Like, and not, so like, well, if you got molested, say for instance, and now you're on some, you feel like all child molesters should fucking be set on fire, you know what I'm saying? Now, of course, from a human moralistical aspect, you know, molestation is not, you know, nothing to praise, of course, but at the same time, everything in existence, like we all, everything is an aspect of yourself. So it's about forgiveness. And forgiveness doesn't mean you're embracing child molesting. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that you support child molesting by forgiving somebody who, you know, obviously was sick, in essence. It's not like no people, anybody trying to make something, like people make it seem like you can't acknowledge something, or if you acknowledge something then you like supporting it. Like, so if you say you know forgive somebody who did something wrong, it's like, oh, so you support what that person did. Oh, it's being a fucking a guide, understanding that everything is extension of you. You know what I'm saying? The only way to heal is with that unconditional love. The people who walking around the most meanest, the most aggravated and angered is the people who need love the most. That's another thing with spiritual growth. It's not about us. Of course, we're gonna connect with other light beings and do what we do, but it's not about us just being around each other like in some little magical, you know, uh, high vibrational club where we just always just, hanging around each other on a vibe. Like it's not other people who could use our knowledge and our energy. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not on no vibe or feeling like you obligated to help, but through your soul purpose, and you tapping into the inner vibes, and tapping into that heart space indirectly, you're just gonna have the vibe to be the change you want to see, and indirectly it's gonna, trickle out into doing things that help others. And as we helping others, we want to teach people how to fish and not give people to fish. you know. So matter of fact, a lot of people, with me and that, because some people, had some GoFundMe projects dealing with feeding homeless people, and I did, and they asked me to post it on my Instagram, and I didn't. I let them know, like, I don't really, support that vibe in that manner. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me being my authentic self. I would have felt like I was dying inside if I would have posted that. That's how authentically strong I am about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'd have felt like I was dying inside to support that situation in that manner, because I don't believe in it. To each his own on our growth and how we feel we should help. But again, back to what's real about really helping. What will really help somebody is teaching a person how to sustain themselves, and not just being the sustenance. You know. Where we at? Yeah, but I'm about to soon all right. Got us a little troll in here, I see. But that's basically it, y'all. I just skimming through the matter of fact, ooh, again, staying grounded right now. It's a key aspect. It's gonna be a lot of water energy, and we wanna deal with that water energy. We wanna tap into it, but just make sure we're not getting lost in the sauce, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Where we just you're so in the dreamy world that you're not because it takes a little bit of practicality. Practicality. Anyway, it takes a little bit of being practical. We're dealing with manifestations and things of this nature. So you do still have to have that logic and that physical nature in grounding, what you want to manifest, and grounding those big dreams. So of course it's about dreaming big, expansion, Jupiter, Neptune, the dreams and the imagination, also with expansion, and abundance in essence as well, you know what I'm saying? But it's just not getting lost in the sauce. Being aware of that. That's basically it. Matter of fact, of course, if you find the information useful, resonate with it in any way, form, or fashion, you know, definitely all donations is greatly appreciated, of course. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, with live videos, don't do the what they call that, the live chat. Just wait to send it to my Epic Lifestyles link that's under mostly all of my videos as far as the donations concerned. Thank y'all for the love and support. Feel free to share these videos with any family or friends that you feel will resonate with the videos as well. All love and support is greatly appreciated. Check out my Instagram page, Universal Frequencies, and my Epic Lifestyles page, in which those links are under all of my videos as well. Where you can follow that too. But I'm about to be out, y'all. Any lasting little questions? That's it. All right, y'all. Peace and love, peace and blessings. Remember to stay in the moment. Stay out of your thoughts. Don't be thinking about what happened to you yesterday, a long time ago. Don't be all anxious about how I'm gonna grow, reason why spiritual growth becomes overwhelming, because you're not focused in the moment. Being focused in the moment is being in the moment. One of the exercises I do to stay in the moment, if I find myself possibly going to my thoughts or something, I'm like, right now, what you doing right now in this moment? And I just speak on what I'm doing, like I'm in this moment. So in the moment I'm walking down the street, all these things that's in my thoughts is not existing. They're only existing as a thought. It's some worrisome thought that's either trying to have me anxious about the future, or sad, or feeling some type of trauma or something from the past. You know what I'm saying? That's, again, being in the moment. Right now I'm doing this video. Right now, while I'm doing this video, nothing else exists except for me doing this video. And then when I go to doing the next task, only that next task is going to exist, and nothing else. Being fully in what you're doing. Well, hey, what if I'm in a situation that I don't like? Be in it without judgment. So, you don't have to like it, but of course, it's not judging the situation and making sure that, all right, in this moment, if you don't like it, then start moving in a place or in the direction of changing, that aspect, or changing that outcome. So if you don't like where you're at right now, you dislike it, still be present in your now, be present in your now and accept your now unconditionally. Matter of fact, that's the whole thing. I have to write that in my tablet. I accept the present moment unconditionally. So accept the present moment unconditionally. So no matter the condition, accept it. That don't mean that don't mean, you have to put a smiley face sticker over something that, that's bad, or, that you don't like. You don't have to fake happiness, but just accept the moment. The moment is what it is, Like, say, for instance, when somebody transition in your family, accept the moment. That don't mean that you don't that don't mean don't cry. It doesn't mean do cry. It just mean accept what is, because regardless if you cry or not, the fact still remains that you're in the now that you're in, So just accept it and do your best, to operate, do the most you can in that moment to change the situation, And it's step by step. In that moment, what can you do? Ask yourself, in this moment, what's the first thing I could do that could just really be hands-on or whatever, to actually start, changing my life to get to a place where I love my moments, you know what I'm saying? Where I love being in the now. You know, but that's the gist of the situation, man. Being in the moment, realizing not to get distracted by the outside stuff. The government and the oppressors, all these people, they need your mind. Their weapons is not these, like all that martial law fake stuff. Like, matter of fact, them speaking on that is their weapon, not the actual situation itself. But like, they need your brains. You know, they need your thoughts. So, you know, whenever, if you paying attention, like, oh, Donald Trump doing this, the government ain't shit, or matter of fact, even another one, a lot of conscious people don't realize, you know, you call yourself, like, we know that our words manifest and what we focus on grows, but then stop saying that, oh, well, people ain't gonna never get it, people ain't waking up, or the sheep or this, or the sheep or that, and people don't get it. But you might as well start working for the government, goddamn, cause shit, you by you speaking that into existence, you even making it more a reality. Cause it starts with your reality. So as you like, oh, people ain't waking up, this and that, then what you see in your experience is non-awakened people and this and that. And then the more you pay attention to what's going outside of you, the more you give credence to it. Well, you see, look, but no, you created that situation by saying that all people not waking up, or that, oh, nigga. Matter of fact, like, niggas don't get it, this and that. I had to say it like that, or this and that. This won't change, or that won't change, or, you know, this and that, or I don't know, man. You think people gonna ever wake up or this and that? Well, I know by having the mind frame that you have is gonna make it even more difficult. You know what I'm saying? And you start to see why a person who's positive is needed in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because as much as a person would like to call me fake or pretentious, or think that my positive aspect is some, oh, he just trying to be good at two shoes or peachy, man, fuck you and fuck whoever think about it like that, straight up, because that's not what it is. Somebody has to, somebody, and that just came out of me, like, because it gets, you know, like, I just had to express that, because it definitely, you know, where people take you for, you know, this vibe. And of course, I know not to let people, but again, that's just me expressing it, you know, just getting it out. So it could no longer be about shining the light on it, so it won't be hiding the shadows, you know, because that's something that, you know, people like see the vibe and think that I'm a demasculine person, that, you know, that's just trying to promote more demasculinity, or, you know, or trying to keep, it's like, nah, bro. It's like, if somebody don't see the world that we want to see it, you know what I'm saying, the way we want to see it, if somebody doesn't be positive, then who will? Everybody else want to pay attention to the news and complain about somebody getting shot by the police and doing all this shit. Then who's gonna keep everybody, you know, who's gonna stay in that place of being focused of where it really matters and where it really counts? You know what I'm saying? We manifest this world with our mind. Fuck what somebody else think. You know, you could think that it's outside of you, you know, and people gonna still ponder on what we gotta do politically and this and that, but all that shit is just side shit at the end of the day. You know, the true aspect is going within and manifesting with our thoughts, you know. Oh, so you mean no action? And no, it don't mean that, because people want to get that position, want to say manifest with thoughts. Oh, so that means just thoughts? No, did I say just use your thoughts? No, it's still using parts of your physical aspect as well, but you realizing and understanding that, hey, it starts first and foremost with my inner universe, and then trickles out, chasing my fucking tail outside of my body. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what you're doing in essence. You know, I digress. You see, like, that's just an it could have seemed like I was being bad, or like, you know, like some anger was in. Of course, a little anger, you know, like a little was in there, but not on the level of like making me partake in a lower vibration, you know. But that's the whole vibe, y'all. Like, I'm one of them people where I don't have to growl all the time. Like, I don't have to be, I'm militant, and this and that. Because what's funny is those people who speak on it like that, but then they're not really standing up for what they really have to stand up for. And that's, you know, you just putting on the front of, I'm militant, this and that. And when I'm saying this, just speaking to that energy, to each his own on everybody on their walk. You know what I'm saying? We all different on our growth. So if somebody is in that manner, you know, to each his own. I'm not knocking them, you know what I'm saying? They are where they at, and they are where they should be if that's where they're at. You know what I'm saying? But just speaking to, like, I come from the hood. Like, some of the brethren who talk the most noise, got the goals in their mouth, looking the most gangsters, was some of the ones getting knocked out. Because too, you start, like, we all indirectly will start to realize that all that barking was just trying to scare people. Like, so really, you really scared of the fight. Like, well, you barking and all that noise to scare people off, so people won't mess with you. You know what I'm saying? And you're not about the action. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm about standing up for the, for the spiritual vibes of what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? But again, not on no standing up, like feeling like I gotta go fight somebody outside of me. When I say that, it's not like, yeah, I'm about, this and that. No, it's not nothing about, I'm about doing my inner work. You know what I'm saying? Like, realizing that it ain't about chasing my tail outside of me. Like, doing what I gotta do internally. But that's basically it. Yeah, man, the fear mongering, man, at this point, you put on white KKK sheet, go get your government official badge, go sign, go apply to work at CNN and Fox News. Like, go do all of that if you're ever talking down on our spiritual growth. If you're ever, and it's all right, of course we go through, things like negative vibes within ourselves, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're letting it overwhelm you and you letting fear, overwhelm your being, then, you might as well go on CNN or Fox News, or try to become a grandmaster of a certain KKK division, whatever the case may be. Because, I mean, in essence, that's what you're working to help. So, again, I digress. Blessings to y'all. Peace. Happy now and again. Remember, intuitive vibes. Gonna be a lot of water, a lot of feminine energy, a lot of artistic, wanting to do art and stuff like that, tapping into the art, sit down, matter of fact, and take the time. Sometimes that allows for us to be in the moment as well, just sitting down and doodling something, like drawing a little art, get into some poetry, write a song or something. I'm saying, like, but tap into that artistic side, and definitely take risks in getting closer and closer into your soul purpose. There's that next step that you could take to get more into your soul purpose. Like, take that step, you know what I'm saying? But peace. Happy now. Now it's a vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now.